Hello, it's Monday, which means it's time for your Monday motivation. So today, the thing I need to remind myself of, and I hope this is helpful for you as well, is to get yourself into situations where you're stretching yourself and nurturing your mind in a social situation, which translates into conferences, events, like getting yourself out there. Every time I push myself to go to like a conference or a big event, I always come back with so many amazing connections, and I usually hear speakers that motivate me and make me think on a different level, or in a different way. It is so, so important, and I feel like it's really easy to get lazy and just not seek out situations where you can, put yourself in that environment. So today I invite you, and I'm inviting myself, to find a conference that will enrich your soul. And whether it's like a business conference or a spiritual conference or like a conference to learn a specific skill, you're not going to regret it. A couple of years ago, it's like 3 years ago now. Wow. I went to UPW, which is Tony Robbins' signature conference. It's called UPW, but it's for Unleash the Power Within. Okay. So it's like 3 days conference of just pure motivation, adrenaline, like tens of thousands of people. This was actually right before COVID, I went. But there's like tens of thousands of people from all over the world, and you're like going, you go to the bathroom, you're like walking through the hallways, and everyone's like high-fiving each other and giving random hugs to each other, and like the energy is just so spectacular, and you leave that conference feeling like you can conquer the world. But here's the thing. That sort of stuff, it's not like a one and done. It's exactly why I'm doing Monday Motivation. It's like you need to be exposed to these things over and over and over and over again. And it's just so funny that I loved that conference so much, and that was in 2019. And I haven't done anything to that magnitude ever again. And of course you leave that situation, I left that conference thinking oh man, I need to do this every single year. Now obviously it was COVID was a showstopper, but I've been thinking about it again, where's the next conference? What's the next conference? Whether it's another Tony conference, because I'm sure all of them are extraordinary, but there's so many wonderful just speakers out there. There's so many wonderful coaches and teachers and organizations that have conferences, and I think that there's something really, really special about being in person. I just don't believe you get the same real juice and connection by doing something virtually and in your house. When I was at UPW, I was totally alone. I actually, at the time, was working closely with an agency, and everyone in the agency went to this event. And I was really conscious of not sitting next to them or whatever, because it's a very personal thing, and these sort of environments that are again, it depends on the conference, but UPW was very emotional. People are screaming and crying, and you're working through all these things in your mind, and it's it's a wild ride. But I think that there's something really cool about not going with people that right? So being surrounded by strangers, but making new connections. There's one friend actually that I had on the podcast whose name is Kemi Joseph, who on the episode, I can't even think of which episode it was, but in the episode together, I talked about how we met, and we met in the hallways on my way to the bathroom at UPW, and he was wearing this sequence blazer, golden sequence blazer. And I just walked up to him, and I was I need to know who you are, because you just seemed like the biggest ray of sunshine. And he actually is the biggest ray of sunshine. But we just have had this like beautiful connection for the past like 3 or so years, just like checking up on each other every once in a while. We'll like catch up on the phone about each other's businesses, but it is just this like beautiful connection. And whenever I get a message from him or whatever, it's like this beautiful reminder of that experience. And this is like I would never have met Kemi otherwise, because I'm ever freaking in my house all day. You know, we all work from home, which is just so beautiful, and it has so many wonderful benefits to it, right? But I think that we can't forget how important, how like beautiful it is to actually have human connection, and not just human connection like for the sake of business, right? This human connection for the sake of like growing as a human. So, what conferences are you going to go to? What conference are you going to go to in the next 6 months? What is a way that you can put yourself in a situation where you can, you know, level up? Okay, I hope that did something for you. If you needed to hear this or know someone that needed to hear it, please share this. It means so much to me, because I think this Monday motivation stuff is so important. And I'll see you back here next week for the next dose.